So we've just joined Robin in a sighting of the mother cheetah and her what is now a sub-adult cub. They are very close to the Sand River, just to the east of our camps, and so it's great to see that this youngster is doing so well that they're still spending a lot of time together. What we're hoping for is them to get up and move across into the distance. We can see some impala way down there. They are looking relatively hungry, so there is a chance that they might go in that direction. Just to be seeing cheetah in this area with the backlit sun coming onto them is absolutely gorgeous. So this young male is probably about a year old, so still very much dependent on its mother, and is going to be hanging around with his mother for probably about another 8 to 10 months from here. And so it's very much dependent on her for hunting and sustaining itself. It'll try and get involved in some of the hunts at this point, but isn't yet proficient in hunting by itself. And so it'll move around, and you can see it's almost the same size as its mother, and it'll definitely be almost as fast as its mother. But in terms of knowing when to go and when to set off after the prey, it's not yet a fantastic hunter. But it's all a learning curve, and as long as it follows on with its mother and it moves around and watches her hunt, it'll pick up those skills and techniques very, very quickly. So finally, after a long patient wait, the cheetah have got up. We've seen a herd of impala in the distance. And it looks as though they're using the thicker vegetation here to try and get a bit closer. There is a couple of giraffe out in the open here, so they don't want to walk straight through the open. That's going to essentially give themselves away. By using the thicker vegetation, they can then try and get a lot closer without the giraffe giving away their presence. So it looks as though the impala have moved off. The last little bit of the sun has dipped behind the Drakensberg Mountains, and because cheetah are so endangered and at risk, we don't want to put any extra pressure on them now and essentially draw any unwanted attention here from the likes of hyenas or other predators. So we're probably going to leave them shortly, but it's great news that they look like they might be hunting. It's nearly full moon behind us, and so that's great conditions for these cheetah to hunt during the course of the evening as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to leave them, we're going to head back to camp, and we'll come through here in the morning hoping to try and find them. For the sake of giving an update, we've got the Plaque Rock Female up in this beautiful leadwood tree behind me, and she's just resting very comfortably there. You see her head on her paw, as she's just enjoying the shade of the tree. It's a pretty windy morning, but from here it gives us a fantastic view of her belly, and sadly if you look closely, those teats do not have any fresh suckle marks on them, and so that's probably a telltale sign that she has lost her cubs after the recent sighting that we put out. She then moved those cubs into the Sand River, and we weren't able to find exactly where she was keeping them or what den she was using. And then subsequently from that, we've no longer seen the cubs, and she doesn't have any suckle marks. So we sadly believe that those cubs have been killed by something. And it's only a matter of time now before the Plaque Rock Female then comes into estrus again, or into heat again, and then moves around trying to find a male in order to mate with. And that would then essentially allow her to fall pregnant and hopefully give birth to some more cubs, and we'll then just see where she goes from there. But great to see her. Sad news about her cubs being killed, but I guess that's the way that things operate out here, and we have no control over that. But awesome to see her, and so we're going to start heading back to camp. So yesterday we had heard from the Male guys that the Birmingham Coalition, which now consists of the last standing Birmingham Male and one of their offspring from the Nkuhuma pride, the Nkuhuma young male, who's now just known as the Nkuhuma Male. And so they together make up the Birmingham Coalition, and we're seen on Male, with the likelihood of them coming further west towards us. So we've been out tracking them the whole morning, but eventually Shadrach's just managed to find the Birmingham Male, so we definitely need to get ourselves across there, see what condition he's in. And so fantastic news that he's still alive, he's still doing well, and that he's back on Londolozi. So I must admit, I never thought I'd be seeing the Birmingham Male again, and it was a bit of a scramble to get ourselves across here just as he was about to lay down. We're not too sure where the Nkuhuma Male is. We know that they've been spending a lot of time together, and essentially the Nkuhuma Male is the offspring of the Birmingham Coalition. Whether he's the actual father or one of his brothers was the father, we're not too sure, but the fact is they're related and they've been sticking together, and as a result of that they're a much more formidable force. And so this is just great news to have him here. Doesn't look as though he's going to be getting up to too much more now, but there's a very good chance that he's going to get up and start moving around this evening, and potentially even call for his coalition partner so that they can meet up, because they need to spend some time together. He's actually just lifted his head up now. He keeps hearing something in the distance. We can see some elephants and zebra coming down for a drink, and I know that's where he came from, so maybe the Nkuhuma Male's that side. And you can imagine he must be quite alert and attentive, because he doesn't want to get caught by surprise by any of the Nzanga males, because essentially he is now intruding into their territory, even though he used to rule the roost around here. But if he gets caught by himself, the odds are stacked against him, because there's 4 of the Nzanga males, and so by being with the Nkuhuma Male, they'll then have a much better chance at taking on the Nzanga males. And I can't believe it, but I actually forgot. The elephant's having a little disagreement in the background there. I forgot how big the Birmingham Male was, and it's now only having spent some time with the Nzanga males that you get a real true appreciation for the genetics within this male. And so it's so good to see him here. I thought I would never see this male again, and so the fact that he's now back here, let's just hope he sticks around for a little bit longer. Also with elephants are still not too happy. We're going to put the story out today, and I'll definitely be back here this evening. What I am really hoping for is him to then call and hopefully meet up with the Nkuhuma Male. If there is going to be an altercation with the Nzanga males, we'll hopefully be there to capture it. So it looks like he's not going to be doing too much more. He's just resting flat out here in the shade. We're going to head back to camp, process this video to get it out today, and then we'll come back this evening, see what else happens, and if there is anything exciting, we'll put that out next week.